Hi everyone and welcome back to Diamond Paints with Mike. Today we are starting the Mussels. Yes, this is the second painting in that fabulous kit brought to you by Art Studio, sold in the range. And today we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to start off with a big colour for a change and then work our way to the end once we've done that. Now, what a funny day it was today. Oh my god. So I got up at 6 o'clock because I had to go to work today, and normally what I do is when I have to go to work, the first thing I'll do is I'll have a coffee whilst I wait for the train, because my trains come on the hour and I work in Chelmsford. And I could not believe it. So I went into the kitchen to put the kettle on. The kettle's not turning on. And I'm thinking, what on earth is going on here? So I thought maybe I didn't plug it in. Because normally with the TV or anything that's plugged in during the day, I turn off, because if you leave it switched on standby, that really eats up a lot of your you get charged a lot of money for it to be on standby mode, so it just saves a little bit of electric. So I go to turn it on and it weren't coming on. So I thought, that's strange, the plug's in, the switch is on, why isn't it coming on? Well, just as I go to walk into the bedroom, because I wanted to see if the plug was working in here, I noticed the fan had turned itself off. So then I'm going into sort of like the mode, have we got a power cut? And no, none of the switches are working. So I thought, right, I'm going to have to check the circuit breaker, and checked it on and it had tripped. So I turned it back on. Within about a few seconds it tripped. Now, next to the big red switch there's a switch called an RCD. That will trip if there's something on the circuit that has caused a fault. So it's a safety device, and it will basically just stop the electric within seconds. Well, anyway, turned it on, it tripped again. So I thought, right, I'm going to have to wait a couple of minutes, see if it is, there's a technical problem or something, because this has done this before, and the landlord has actually had to replace the whole circuit breaker because it's been faulty, and this is a new one that they've put in. Well, anyway, I thought, well, I'll wait 10 minutes and then I'll put it back on again. And while I was waiting, I was checking all the switches to make sure that because really your lights, any sockets, they're all supposed to be flicked up. I think it's down or up. Well, anyway, some of them did trip, so I pushed them back up. And then I thought, right, it's been 10 minutes, let me put it back on again. It done exactly the same thing. So I thought, right, okay, well, the RCD is tripped, so that indicates there's a problem on the circuit. So I thought, right, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go around every plug socket in the room and find out what's causing it. Now, when that's tripped, if you switch it on, it will just trip again, because it's telling you that there's a problem. So the other day I was having problems with this plug here. This is an Apple plug, but it's got two USBs. Now, I bought this wire from Savers, right? And as we all know, we're cheap shit. If it's anything from Savers or the pound shop, these wires do not last more than about a week. And I was a little bit annoyed because I paid $2.99 for that wire. You'd think it'd last a reasonable length of time, and for some reason last night it was just not charging. I cannot tell you how annoying it is. Like, you put your phone into charge and then like an hour later you come back to see whether it's charged, and for the whole of that hour it didn't charge once. And I thought, right, that's going to have to go in the bin and I'll have to get a new one. But under the Consumer Rights Act, that should last a reasonable length of time, and that hasn't. That's at least what about a month old, but remember, you can go after 30 days, you can get either a refund or replacement, because yeah, okay, it's out 30 days, but it should be lasting a lot longer than 30 days. Well, anyway, I thought, right, that's got to be what the problem is. So I unplugged this plug, and then I went back to the circuit breaker and put the master switch back on, and the RCD didn't trip. So the culprit was this thing here. So there's something wrong with either this or it's the cable. I don't think it's that, because I've used this many times doing my whip and chats. It's the plug I use to power my light board, and I don't think it is that plug. I think it's this wire. So yeah, that's what was causing it, and I'm just afraid to put it back in case it trips it again. And I thought, oh my god, what am I gonna do? I'm supposed to be going to work now, and by that time it was like near enough 7. My train comes at near enough I think it's 10 to 7 or something like that, I can't remember now. But I thought, oh my god, I'm not going to get in today. Like, I'm going to have to phone up my manager and explain that we've got a technical problem with the power. So, because obviously I didn't know whether it was going to be like a temporary issue or whether it would last all day. So yeah, and I phoned them up and I said, I'm very sorry, I can't come in due to a power issue, because I don't know if like the circuit breaker is faulty and I need to get the landlord to replace it. I don't know. So yeah, they were fine about it, and obviously you could tell in their voice they were a little bit annoyed, because obviously it was short notice. But really, if you're not going to go in that day, you need to give them a bit more notice, but like near enough the day before, because you've got to remember they've then got to find staff to cover that shift. But you know, some things you just can't help, and you know, you can't provide that much notice. Well, anyway, so luckily everything's back to normal now, so I've had no more technical problems with it. But I mean, we've had nothing but power cuts. Last year was terrible. We had 4 power cuts in the space of a year, and it was very sort of close together. So it'd have a power cut, and then 2-3 weeks down the line it will have a power cut again. But this was something to do in the you know, where the was it Power Networks UK, they sent an engineer out and they do something in the street. It was one of their equipment pieces that kept breaking down, and you sort of think, you know, it's clearly old because it shouldn't be doing this many power cuts. You think they'd replace it. No, they just tried to repair it. So, oh my god, like, I was kind of happy because it got me the day off from going to work, and obviously it's been quite stuffy still. But this morning, oh, it was lovely. I woke up and it was really nice and cool, not too hot and stuff. So anyway, yeah, it got me sort of a day out from work, but obviously I won't get paid for that because I've not gone in for that day, so I lose a day's pay for that. So anyway, that was the end of the power cut issue. And I'm thinking, oh my god, like, what do I do about my phone? I can't charge my phone. So but yeah, I'm just so grateful that it was a technical issue, because this has happened before, and I know for a fact that if it's a problem, it's either something's tripped on the circuit or it's a faulty problem. So yeah, so that was a right pain in the arse this morning. So and then it gets better. So I remembered that I had something coming from Joybuy that I sent to the post office. So because obviously I work Monday to Friday, I have to send my parcels to the post office, and I thought, oh, I don't have to go in now, I'll go and get it. Well, what a fucking disaster that was. Well, look at this. So I get into open the parcel, and when I picked it up out of the post office, oh my god, it was leaking all out of the box. And yeah, Joybuy thinks it's a great idea to basically wrap stuff in that. Now, if you're selling in glass, you do not wrap it in paper. That is not going to protect that item. And then opened it, and it was like that, and then ended up like that. So all that's been, there's obviously where it's been moving around in the van, it's exploded, all the stuff's come out of it, and yeah. So you might be wondering, why on earth have I ordered Heinz tomato? So you might have wondered why I ordered that specific jar of Heinz tomato sauce. Well, the reason is because quite often I can't find this specific one in the shop, and it's called something like sun-dried cherry, tomato and basil. Now, I've had plenty of Dolomio jars through the post, and they've always been fine, but whether the lid weren't screwed on properly or what, still, that's not the point. The point is they should have used bubble wrap, in which they never. So yeah, I was very, very annoyed, because obviously it then meant that I had to spend even more money, because I had to go to the shop and actually get it off the shelf. But I couldn't get the one that I ordered. I had to just get the Sainsbury's make. So yeah, I wasn't very happy, because I really like the cherry one, because in this one that you get big lumps of like this tomato. It's like I'd say sort of like a size of 50p sort of chunky tomato in it. So you know how like some sauces they chop it all up, well this is like a whole chunk of cherry tomato. So oh my god, what a fiasco that was. So I had to take a photo of it, because if you want to return something on Joybuy, it's very similar to Temu. You have to take a photo, and then it goes off to an agent who approves it or rejects it. And yeah, oh my god, what an absolute disaster that was. So I'm not going to be ordering jars through the post anymore. So I'll just have to stick to either Dolomio or the Sainsbury's one. But it is a shame, because this one that they sell is very, very nice. It's called sun-dried cherry or something. Sun-dried cherry, tomato and basil, or cherry sun-rich, something sun-rich or something. I can't remember. But yeah, so today's just been a bit of a bellies up day, really. First we had the power cut off, and now we've had a Dolomio's all leaking. So obviously I got a refund, because it's their problem. You know, they should have used, I cannot understand why on earth you would use paper. You do not use paper. Or this honeycomb, I bloody hate that stuff. You know, this, what they wrapped it in was this honeycomb stretchy paper stuff, and I hate that stuff. You know, it doesn't matter how much paper you put in it, paper's so thin, that's not going to protect it. So oh my god, yeah. So that was that really. And then I spent the rest of the day, after going and get that, I spent the rest of the day sort of catching up, doing a big catch up on YouTube. I haven't diamond painted for 2 days, because I've just been so busy doing this. I mean, I've been having a few days, because I got so far in advance with my filming. I had a few days rest from diamond painting, so yeah. So I've just had like a massive catch up really. The weekend I'm watching all the series of Pirates of the Caribbean at the moment, and 2 weeks ago was the Black Pearl, and this week just gone was Dead Man's Chest. And out of all the films, you cannot beat, in my opinion, Dead Man's Chest is the best. I think it sort of deteriorates from Dead Man's Chest. So, but I saw on Facebook, apparently there's this cinema called Secret Cinema, and apparently there's tickets in London where apparently there's this new film called Pirates of the Caribbean: The Immersive Adventure, but apparently it's only running for 10 weeks in London. So I think I mean, I could be wrong, I'm not entirely sure, but this secret cinema thing, apparently it's supposed to be like, I mean, the only way I can describe it is it's like a preview, you know, where like sometimes you go to a preview evening to see what the film's about, but then it doesn't get released for so many months down the line. But yeah, I need to look into that because a friend sent me it, and he goes to the cinema near enough every week, and I thought, oh, I'll have a look at that, but I've not really had the chance to sit down and properly have a look at it yet. So yeah, and then I pretty much had dinner, and then I've had two things come today through InPost, and they've been stuck in the locker all day. I totally forgot to go and get them, so I've got to go all the way back out again. But of course it started to heat up again, so I'm gonna have an evening walk. I've got about 4 different jars, because I keep buying. I've got really onto eating pasta and sauce at the moment, and I keep buying pasta, and I've got all these jars everywhere where I've been buying the same, because if I'm passing Sainsbury's I'll always pick up there. I like to get the cheap make. I don't see the point in paying out £3 for Dolomito because it's a fancy brand, when you can just buy the Sainsbury's make and it tastes exactly the same. So I've been picking up them, so I've got to do that. And I thought, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop down to the Morrison's local, and I'm going to pick up some of their custard creams, because they sell a whacking great big pack of them for 80p, like Tesco's do. But of course Tesco's is shut, but this Morrison's is like a convenience, so they actually open till 11 p.m. So, and Chalice Lane, they're shut at 10, so you've got to sort of work with what shops are open, really. Because I was going to do a Uber Eats delivery, not Uber, sorry, Just Eats, because they do restaurants. No, Uber Eats. They do Wish delivery with Tesco, and just for like a pack of biscuits, they charge me like £3 basket fee because it's a small order. And just bear in mind that they are really, really naughty, because what they do is, if say something online, for example Sainsbury's, it says £1, bearing in mind that on Uber you get charged this fee, service fee, bag fee, delivery fee, small order fee. They then, if it's like custard creams £1 on the website, and then you go onto Uber and it says £1, they will charge £1.10 or £1.50, which doesn't marry up to the cost of the actual grocery website. So they've always had in fees. It's one big con. So I thought, oh my god, I ain't doing that. That's taking the piss, you know. It would almost cost me £5 with all the different fees just for like a pack of biscuits. Like, you can jog on. I'll go up to Morrison to get them, because I've got to go and pick up. I've got 2 Craft Buddy items, and I've got another Wildlife Buddy. So I won't be able to unbox them tonight. I'll do that tomorrow when I get in from work, film them, and do an unboxing. So that will, so tomorrow night I'll unbox them, and then that'll be Wednesday's video. So yeah, Lunda, Diamond Paint in Jewiton, she has said that apparently Temu are now charging tax from the Netherlands. So she's not going to be, because she left I don't know what video it's on, but she left a comment something to do with there's going to be new tax regulations. So at the moment I don't believe Temu have that in the UK, and let's hope they don't, because if they start putting tax on things, I'm not shopping with them no more. yeah, after this I've got to go and get the packages, and it takes, because to get to Morrison's I've got to go into town, through the town, out the town. You start off going in, it's like a big jellyfish. You go in and then you have to go back out again, because Morrison's is kind of out the town, but to get to it I have to go through the town. Does that make sense? And then I think we need to put bordering, didn't we? So let's put that about there. Yeah, so let's get the schedule. So tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Tuesday. So this will be Tuesday's video. Then Wednesday you'll have one of the vintage parcels, because they're two different sellers, you see. So, and oh my god, the seller I buy them scrolls off, that she's on holiday at the moment. So she, on vintage you can, if you are on holiday or perhaps you just need a break from selling, you can switch a button and it says on holiday mode. And I was like, oh my god, I can't buy any more because she's on holiday. So yeah, so yeah, they're two different sellers. So what I'll do is I'll do this Tuesday, Wednesday we'll do vintage, Thursday we'll come back into another session of this, Friday we'll do the other vintage, and then Saturday, fingers crossed it's a live, because every time I've wanted to do a live the schedule's got messed up a bit. So yeah, I don't know how it happened. Last week we seemed to have got out of schedule as well. We had a little bit, the schedule was all over the place. But I think what buggered it up was because obviously we had Timu come in, and obviously it came in a lot quicker than I thought it was. So, oh look at that already, that is looking cushy. Cushy, cushy, cushy. Right, we seem to be diverting here. We need to go down that way. Looks like a giant splattered egg. You know when you break the yolk, it goes in the pan and it's going... When I did catering, my manager was like, I'm going to teach you how to do a poached egg. And then, oh my god, like, I had to watch the first time. And then he was like, right, you got to make it now. And oh my god, I think I cracked it in one session, because I'm very quick at learning things. And he was like, oh my god, you did that in one session? And I was like, wow, thanks. So yeah, poached egg, like I've never made that in my life until I did that. I do miss doing the catering job, don't get me wrong, but obviously I did that job since 2017, I believe it was, and I resigned in 22. So I just needed a career change, really. Doing that for 7 years, like, no thanks. I need a different one. So then I moved into retail, but I do kind of miss learning all the different foods they had. You know, that creme brulee. So yeah, there was even a really weird soup called cockaliki soup. You know, it's just, and it would, the problem is it would make you so hungry, because obviously you're cooking all this wonderful food and you go into the kitchen and oh my god, the smell of all this beautiful food, it didn't off. The amount of times I came out of my shift really hungry and I had to go to Tesco and get something. I don't know what that's doing there, that's a different colour bond by the looks of it. And guys, I've been having a clear up today. So as you can see, over here, I've had a big sort of clear up. The TV's gone now. Because I thought if I take that off here, it gives me more space over here. So yeah, I've got a little bit more space freed up. So yeah, it was doing my head in because it just got in the way, and I'd be like, all my stuff is sort of here, but yeah, the problem is, I'm really sorry guys, I've moved it all the way over there. So technically, I've not really cleared anything, I've just moved it from there to there. Does anyone else do that? Like you'll get stuff, and then you move it there and you think, oh yeah, it's lovely and clear, but then you go to this, move that bit, say to over here, you know, I just need boxes, I need more of them, oh, what do you call them, these things, you know, the plastic boxes. Yeah, I'll have to see if my sister can pick me up some. So because when I go there, I can only really carry one on the train, because otherwise it gets too bulky. So right, okay, so let's have a little bit of a drinky woo. Do you know, I took 2 days off from filming because I was so far in advance, and I've not missed it once. I suppose because I do it day in and day out, I just, when you do get a couple of days where you're a few, like you're in advance, you just don't really miss it anymore. But yeah, I thought I'd do some before trundling up to Morrison's. Really can't be bothered tonight, I could go tomorrow, but because I know my parcel's in the locker, I want to go and get it. Oh my god, this one is so funny. I can't wait to show you. That colour there, although it's a lighter green, it kind of reminds me of that Christmas deodorant called Brute. Oh my god, that smell is unbelievable. It's so good, that colour. I mean, that's fragrance. Wow, looking at that, that's really nice. This is what you need, Yolanda. You need some of these. Because you like painting, but I mean, some of the paintings Yolanda does, if you want to check out her channel, it's Diamond Painting Ueton. I think it's Youeteun, something like that. And oh my god, like most of her paintings are like all pastel colours. They're really lovely. Really lovely and bright. And yeah, she does do some lovely ones, but she does what's called ASMR. So she'll do like videos where she's just putting the drill down and you hear the, you know, the plucking noise where you're putting it down and releasing the pen. So I think we've done quite a lot. I mean, once that blue goes on there, it's going to look lush, isn't it? But I'm going to save that for next session, because I thought today we'll just work on this one here. You know, I think we've done so much right. I'm going to be a little bit naughty here, And I'm going to do a little bit of this blue just to get an idea as to how, oh, yeah, that's not that, thought it'd be a bit darker than that, but this is sort of like the same blue as that wow 3D scene we did. So, oh my god, yeah, I found the giraffe scene the other day, so I might do that at some point. Oh, look at that, 42 minutes gone already, bloody Nora. Wow, it's gone really quick, isn't it? So yeah, not only have I got to buy a new charger, it looks like I'm going to have to buy this as well, because I don't know if it's hard to say whether it's the charger or the plug, but I'm going to replace them both. Although having said that, this was the this was the plug I found. I was in my mum's kitchen one day and I was like, whose plug is this for? She was like, it's not mine. And I said, is it George's or Hannah's, which is my brother and sister? And she was like, no, it's not none of theirs. So I was like, fine, just keep us then, it's mine. So yeah, I might have to renew that, but I mean, it's good that it has, you know, 2 fitments, but I think I'll just stick to the one. Perhaps it's too powerful, I don't know, but it's never, I've used it all the time and I've never had, like, I've been using that for like half a year, and normally Apple stuff are like really good, but I don't know what the problem is with it. Like, it's got a serious problem. In the soft silence, hello darkness, my old friend. La 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 la. All I keep thinking about is these fucking custard creams. Cool, isn't this a lovely one? And you wait till we get onto that lobster. I think we'll save the fish till last if we've got enough time, but I'm really sorry guys, I don't think we're going to have much time to do any other. I wanted to do some like sand beach ones, but I'm so into these at the moment. So this is the summer of seafood. And oh my god, I still haven't took over my mum's pond fish stuff, like, and she was like, they're like literally like, we need them ASAP. So yeah, I keep forgetting to put them in my work bag, so I'll have to do that. Definitely have to do that either Friday or Wednesday at the latest. So 20 degrees, yeah, it's lovely. It's like that. Because this morning it was, I woke up really, really lovely and cool, and then it sort of like went back up again. So now these are the ones that scream at you when they're being cooked, because I'm not joking, my nan used to get these. I think they're either called mussels, they're not wilks, because the wilks are the things that I was telling you about that stunk in that bag that I was telling you about. But I don't know if they are mussels or not. I don't. But one of them, they go, you know, as they're being cooked. So I'm kind of not sure. So let's do a bit of yellow now on this bit around here. Now, this yellow bit kind of looks like, are they called clams? You know, when you lift up a clam and then you get that big hard pearl thing. Yeah. And that's the other thing, because obviously it's 2 separate vinted orders. The way InPost works is you could order 5 orders, you could order 10, but the way it works is they don't put it all in, like say like you've ordered from 5 different sellers, they won't put it all in the same door. So if I've got 2 sellers, I have to open 2 doors. It's 1 parcel per compartment, so... Although there was this time, one of my friends ordered something to Amazon, like an Amazon locker, and we don't know how that happened, but somehow she had an InPost parcel in with the Amazon locker. Now InPost cannot open an Amazon locker because it's a different type of locker, and yeah, we don't know how that happened really, but it was bizarre because it's like if you go to InPost and you want to put an Amazon, like pick up an Amazon, you can't pick it up from an InPost because it's not an Amazon thing. So definitely some sort of malfunction. Oh, I just remembered I need to put the recycling out. I need to do that. Yeah, yep. Right, okay, lovely. So that's that. What I'm going to do is, because the other colour going around here is B, and if we just do the G, that gets that took out of circulation. So yeah, we'll just do this and then we'll call that a session. I think that'll be the end of that. Okay, so sorry, they were a bit dusty, them ones, so I'm gonna sort that out. So dusty. I don't know why they're so dusty. Sick. Sorry, I was just spraying some of the dust from the pen thing that I've got at the side of me, like, you know, the screw on lid for this, because it had some dust in there. I love how you diamond paint it and then it goes woo. Oh, do you know what these remind me of? You know them banana shrimp sweets you used to get? Like the actual, were they called, no, not flumps. Flumps. Why do they call it a flump? A flump? Because a flump is technically a marshmallow. So why call it a flump? Unless it's copyright, but it's technically the same thing. But yeah, oh my god, like my mum hates marshmallow or flumps. I can't say that word. Oh my god, it cracks me up. Please do not say the word flump in my presence because I get very, that just chuckles me. Like, could you imagine if you was in a job interview and like you had to be very serious and they said, oh, could you tell me what a flump is? And you had to, perhaps you were working in a sweet shop and you had to describe it. Like, that was me, I'd bloody burst out laughing. But yeah, on that note, that is that. Wow. Well, at least we started it and that's G done. So, Capitan. If you want to get these for yourself, you know what to do. They're at the range company while stocks last. What's I done with the, oh, for God's sake, where's the cellophane gone? There we go. Right. Oh. There we go. Right, so yeah, okay, so nice big section done, lots of different splashes of colour. So the next session will be on Wednesday. Have a wonderful, no, Thursday, because we got the Timu, oh for God's sake, Vinted, not Timu. Timu is on the way though. It's still on the fly at the moment. So yeah, Tuesday's this video, Wednesday be Vinted, then Thursday back to this, and then hopefully we'll have a team all vinted then. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. You'd like to get this for yourself, head over to the range and get this for yourself. And I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, have a lovely day, and we'll see you then. Bye.